Okay, if I can have everybody's attention, first off, I'd like to welcome everybody from the Nadal Academy. I know you guys have been here a while. It took a while to get us all together, but I hope you guys are having a great time. What I'd like to do is I'm gonna kind of back the truck up a little bit, and I'm gonna talk about a couple different things. But before I even get into anything tennis related or life related, so I'm just as much of a life coach as I am a tennis coach. Just show a hand. How many of you guys saw the movie? King Richard.
Oh.
That was me. But that guy had a bushier mustache to me. Mine was kind of like him, a little piece of astroturf. But if you saw King Richard, okay, let me just go back in time, because a lot of people ask about the movie. I've done hundreds of obviously interviews and podcasts, and just how that whole thing started. And I think it's important for all you guys, even though we're all at different levels, you have different goals and aspirations. It was a long time ago, before a lot of you guys were even on Earth, okay? It was 1991. I was at Greenleaf Resort up near Orlando, and I get a call from this guy named Richard Williams, okay? And at the time, I had a girl. She was already top 10 in the world, Jennifer Capriati. She was already on the pro tour by then. And he called me up. He said, I have two daughters. They're 9 and 10, and one's named Venus and the other's named Serena. And I'd like you to take a look at them. And I said, well, wait, I either look at kids maybe at a junior tournament, okay, or they come to the academy. I never, ever really got on a plane, or I went to see someone like at their house or another state or whatever. And it was May, and I decided, you know what? I'm just curious, because I knew there was an article in the New York Times like 4 months earlier where Venus was undefeated in the 10 and under, whatever that means, okay? All right, I was just curious. And for whatever reason, and obviously looking back, it's probably the best vacation I ever took to Compton, California. I just decided to book a flight, and I went out there. So I went to LAX, and that night I went to Compton in the hotel room. Okay, everybody plug in. Okay, I know some of you guys are hearing, but you gotta listen. There's a lot of gold nuggets here. So that night, Richard, Orsine, Venus, and Serena, she was like some of you guys, they come in just like yesterday, okay? Venus on one leg, Serena on the other, hugging, kissing, just like you saw in the movie, just like you saw in the movie. And then Richard, okay, if you saw the movie, some of you think I should be in the Hall of Fame just putting up for that guy for 4 years, but I'm still here hanging in there. So he pulls out a piece of paper and he like grilled me like I was in a deposition, okay? But I respected it because he wanted to know if he was gonna let maybe someone in their circle. He wanted someone who's been there, done that, a role model, a father figure, okay, to these kids, okay? Even though they were 9 and 10, and listen, they weren't amazing, other than they started playing when they were 9 and 10, and they did okay, but that really doesn't mean a lot. So after a few hours, he said, I'm gonna pick you up in the morning, okay? And we're gonna go to East Compton Hills Country Club, okay? So he picks me up. If you saw the movie, the exact same bus. Everything's identical, the exact same bus. I get in the passenger side. I can't make this stuff up. I get harpooned in the buttock. There's a spring sticking up. I sat on this spring. I'm going, and remember, I was at Greenleaf Resort. Okay, it was a 5-star resort, one of the top in the country. And I'm going, what in God's name am I doing in Compton, California? And then I looking back, and there's VW and Serena. They're back there like that. There's McDonald's wrappers, Burger King, old clothes, ball hoppers. I mean, it was crazy. Okay, and they're back there like that. So about 10 minutes into the ride, I'm looking around. I'm going, this is a strange place for a country club. Okay, so we pull up to a park. Okay? We get out. There's guys shooting baskets. This is 7:30 on a Saturday morning. There's people passed out in the grass. They're drinking. They're smoking. It was crazy. All right? So now we get out, and they go, hey, Richard. Now, this was 1991. I know you guys weren't even on Earth by then. They said, hey, King Richard. They called this guy King Richard. It was the weirdest thing ever. And then here we are all these years later, and it's a movie that came out. So we had to go to the tennis courts. There was 2 tennis courts. None of you guys would even play on them. all right? So we had to go across the basketball court. It parted like the Red Sea, if you know what that is, all right? It was crazy. It was a crazy thing. So we go across the basketball court, and I had a brand new box of Wilson tennis balls that I shipped there. He goes, Rick, we don't use new balls. We use old balls. I want them digging, bending. I want them getting down for those balls. I got it. It was a little different. All right, so now we go onto the court. All right, we go onto the court, holes in the net, chipped up, grass. There was like grass, clay, and hard all on one court. They had all 4 surfaces on one court. So now he has a basket, same one you saw in the movie. Well, maybe not the exact same, but a shopping cart, same one you saw in the movie. He had like 7 chains wrapped around it. Okay, remember, this was a rough part of Compton. He goes, hey, Rick, I got to secure it. It won't be here in the morning. So it took the guy 20 minutes just to get the basket ready. So then he put all the old balls in there. So now we started drilling, okay? Serena was 9, BW was 10, all right? Now remember, okay, my blueprint for greatness was probably stronger than anybody in the world. Okay, I had Jennifer Capriati, the most dominant junior girl ever to pick up a racket in the United States. She won the national 18s as a 12-year-old. That was in 1988, and that record still stands today, never be broken. Low center of gravity, always popping the popcorn, the ball on a string. I mean, she was magical, Capriati. So now I'm seeing these girls, they have beads in their hair, okay? We're out there drilling. There's arms going this way, legs going this way. Beads are flying off their head onto the court. I'm just sitting there going, this is brutal stuff. What am I doing here? But it's a great lesson for any coach, parent, okay, or Rick Macci. You don't judge a book by the cover, okay? I started playing competitive points, but just doing drills, I thought maybe 100 in the nation, which I see that every day. So now we started playing competitive points. It was me and Serena against Venus, because Venus was almost 5'9". Okay, Serena, she was a little prankster. Okay, she's like not plugged in yet. It's okay. It's not where you start, it's where you finish, as we all know that. So now we start playing competitive points. The whole landscape changed. When I said game on, and we kept score, forget the drills. When I said game on, I went, what the heck is this all about? I never saw 2 little girls try so hard ever, okay? Listen, I've had a lot of people, Kenan, Sharapova, Moschina, Pierce, Roddick, he's a guy, okay? I could go on and on, okay? I never saw 2 little girls try so hard. They would run so hard to try to get to the ball, their nose was that far off the ground. The ball would be like 30 feet away, which we know they're not going to get it. They'd still be running. And I'm going, wow, that's a very interesting quality. That doesn't mean you're going to be a great tennis player. That doesn't mean you're going to win Grand Slams. And that definitely doesn't mean you're going to go down as the greatest female ever to hold a racket. But I saw something inside both of them, and these 2 little girls, okay? It was baked in extra crispy from birth till I came in at age 9. There was a rage. There was a rage inside these 2 little girls that were all about the competition. And as the great Rafa would tell you, that's the starting point. Anybody, anytime, anywhere, if you're all about the competition, you're going to handle pressure better. So that's the starting point. So now I'm thinking, whoa. Okay, then I started thinking, I asked Richard their size and stuff. One's going to be maybe 6 feet, 160. The other 5'11", 150. I started projecting as a coach where this could go. And right then and there, after we did all this competitive stuff, I mean, they started popping the popcorn extra butter. The preparation got better. The balance got better. Okay, even though you should drill the same way, when I said game on, it changed everything. I saw potential like I never saw before. And right then and there, and this is in the movie, I went up to her, I said, Richard, come here. Let me tell you something. You got the next female Michael Jordan on your hand. And he puts his arm around me and he goes, no, brother, man, I got the next 2. Okay? So then, what was crazy, Venus goes, Daddy, can I go to the bathroom? hugging and kissing, just like you saw in the movie. The movie was almost identical. So Venus goes out the gate. For 5 feet, she walks on her hands. For 5 feet, she does backward cartwheels. So I'm going, whoa, this is some great. That doesn't mean you're going to be a great tennis player, but there's something inside these girls that I never saw. So not only right then and there did I think I could help them become number one with the right technical help and the right financial help, I thought they could transcend the sport. Because in the early 90s, which some of you guys know, if you were big and strong, you weren't nimble. Now on the tour, everybody's taller, bigger, stronger, faster. But back then, if you were big and strong, you weren't nimble. So not only did I think they could be number one, I thought they could transcend the sport. You know, I thought they could transcend the sport. So at the end of the day, all I'm saying to you guys, listen, it's not where you start, it's where you finish. Okay, what's on the inside? And the great Rafa will tell you the same thing. That's the wild card. I saw that cat play when he was 15 years old. It wasn't this or this or it was this. I mean, the guy's just there. And that's a starting point, whether you want to play high school tennis, go to college, some of you guys want to play pro, whatever the deal is, okay, it's all about that. So then we teamed up, and as everybody knows, I guess the rest is history. So that was just a little something I wanted to share with you guys, because a lot of people have asked me about that. Why did I take a chance? And it was a big chance. I mean, hundreds of thousands of dollars. The bankroll, I could have been wrong. They could have got hurt. Okay, I've been wrong before. That's why I'm right a lot. But as you can see, the one thing I did notice about Serena, okay, she had all the time in the world. And when I tell that to people, even back in the early 90s when I'm on tape or getting interviewed, she had all the time in the world, and she knew where you were going to hit it before you did. Where BW had different gifts from above, okay? So those were a couple boxes they had checked, or a few things in the pocket, okay, that helped them become what they are. But the wild card was the competitiveness. And when you're that competitive, you run for every ball and you have that Compton street fight, you're gonna handle pressure better. So I wanted to kind of share that with you, but now, related to what you guys could do. How many of you guys, just show me your hand, how many of you wanna be the best you can be? Raise your hand. I should say sit down. Okay, everybody's sitting down, that's good. All right, number one, starting today. If you're probably not gonna listen to me, you're not gonna listen to a lot of people. Starting today, never make an excuse the rest of your life. It's so easy to blame the guy cheating, or the wind, or the sun, or it's cold, or people rooting against. No more excuses. Okay, that's gonna help you more in the game of life than even your tennis game. No excuses. See, people make excuses because they feel better about themselves. Okay, it's all about that. So then we teamed up, and as everybody knows, I guess the rest is history. So that was just a little something I wanted to share with you guys, because a lot of people have asked me about that. Why did I take a chance? And it was a big chance. I mean, hundreds of thousands of dollars. The bankroll, I could have been wrong. They could have got hurt. Okay, I've been wrong before. That's why I'm right a lot. But as you can see, the one thing I did notice about Serena, okay, she had all the time in the world. And when I tell that to people, even back in the early 90s when I'm on tape or getting interviewed, she had all the time in the world, and she knew where you were going to hit it before you did. Where BW had different gifts from above, okay? So those were a couple boxes they had checked, or a few things in the pocket, okay, that helped them become what they are. But the wild card was the competitiveness. And when you're that competitive, you run for every ball and you have that Compton street fight, you're gonna handle pressure better. So I wanted to kind of share that with you, but now, related to what you guys could do. How many of you guys, just show me your hand, how many of you wanna be the best you can be? Raise your hand. I should say sit down. Okay, everybody's sitting down, that's good. All right, number one, starting today. If you're probably not gonna listen to me, you're not gonna listen to a lot of people. Starting today, never make an excuse the rest of your life. It's so easy to blame the guy cheating, or the wind, or the sun, or it's cold, or people rooting against. No more excuses. Okay, that's gonna help you more in the game of life than even your tennis game. No excuses. See, people make excuses because they feel better about themselves. No excuses. And when you do that, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, your head will get stronger. Okay, your head will get stronger. Okay, and let me tell you, and there's a guy that played on clay, 112-3, which that in itself is insane. They'll tell you the same thing. It all starts here. No excuses. If you would do that, it's easy to blame, especially nowadays. There's more entitlement, the social media, there's too much stuff going on. No excuses. That's number one. Number two, everybody, when you play, run for every ball. Show me your hand. How many of you guys love to run? Yeah, you can tell they've listened to me before. You guys know what to say. How many of you like to run? Listen, if you don't love to run, here's what I would suggest. You should play like golf, swimming, ping pong, car. I wouldn't play tennis. If you don't love to run, this is the wrong sport. That's the starting point. Good job. That's a starting point. You gotta love to run. No excuses. You gotta love to run. And the final thing, listen, this is a very difficult sport, especially when you play singles, because you got 20 seconds after you play a point, whether you win or you're losing, to go back to that fence, regroup, okay, and come back out and feel great about yourself. Handling problems, okay? And there's no more than playing tennis, just like the game of life. How you handle things. You see this guy Alcaraz, he loses a 20-ball rally, he like smiles at you. What is that all about? Okay, or most of you guys think, oh, it's the end of the world. Okay, that's flipping it in your mind. It's mind control. And you saw Rafa, the guy was just a machine, mentally. The same all the time. You can't tell if he's winning or losing, but the coaches can go around here and say, that kid's winning, that kid's losing. You can tell just by how people are responding. And you got to get into a routine. You got to have a habit. But you got 20 seconds to make it like it happened 20 years ago. You go back to that fence, you come out there. And the final thing, the only thing that you got control over, remember this, maybe your toss on your serve, is your attitude. The best of all the rest are the most positive creatures that ever walked the face of the earth. They don't even let any negativity in there. They're so positive. I'm just telling you, but you don't see that. When you see a great player, the first thing you say, forehand, the backhand, the serve. How many times you call up your coach at the end of a practice, a match, and you say, my brain didn't work today, or my feet weren't any good. It's always, oh, my serve is off, my forehand or backhand. Well, maybe this was bad, and that was bad, and that's why this was bad. This is what I got, you guys, attitude. You got to be so positive. Now, how many of you guys feel, one final thing, how many of you guys feel different when you play doubles? Okay, see, this is what blows me away. Everybody responds differently when they play doubles. If you miss a ball in singles, okay, all this stuff is going through you and you lose confidence. In doubles, you got someone over there, like your own therapist, and you're giving a high five, and you're giving a hug and a kiss or whatever, or you're motivating it, and it's right out of your head because it just happened, and you got someone there to help you. When you make an error or you lose a tough point, you got to flip it in your mind, and you got to motivate yourself. This is the wild card. I'm just telling you how this works. That's how I knew at a young age, like Sharapova, she's like in a bubble. She had that mental box check. That doesn't mean you're going to be great, because you need more of it. It's like a pizza with everything on it. You need more than just that, but that's a big starting point. Same thing I saw in Kenan, all right? And Rafa will tell you, the best part of this game is not that. It's not that. It's that. This controls everything else. Is that a deal? Deal. All right, photo time. All right, you guys, let's go. We're coming out here.